This is your video game reporter on my latest foray into the world of video gaming. This feature will include old games, alpha games, new games, and mods to the games I play. The intent of this feature is to provide summaries of the games, things that I like about them, and the things that I don't like about them. Most of the time it is from the perspective of a new player, or in some cases that of a veteran of multiple years on a single platform. It goes without saying, but I'll do it anyway, that it often takes more than one or two plays to come to grips with a game, and that initial offerings can be way off base and possibly misleading. That's why I offer you as the guest the ability to reflect your own opinions and viewpoints. I don't tolerate cursing or other troll behavior, and if I find that, you'll be banned. The idea is to share our ideas, strengths, weaknesses, and the cool things that we're looking for as a community so that we can enjoy what is out there and possibly have a part in shaping content. You are the cutting edge of the video game industry, and it'll be you that decides what's worth playing and what isn't. I recently had some time off and was checking with my online friends for something to play, and found myself wandering all over the YouTube map. My idea was to find something to immerse myself in, and was frustrated by the hundreds of listings out there. How do you pick? You can routinely check on what other players are doing, or maybe you could possibly check out this channel now. I basically play games that are strategic, tactical, first-person interactions, and survival in that order. I do single-player, multiplayer, turn-based, and real-time. If what you're interested in is not listed here, then I'm sure the road to your adventures will be just around the corner, down a dark alley, and through a hole in a path on a darkened trail. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's talk. This month I have sampled and played 7 different games, some of which I play regularly, and others not so much. The regular games I play are Arma 3, twice a week, multiplayer. I play on a team, and I do it moderately well. And no, we aren't taking any others, but thank you. What I like about the game is that there is a cadre of really good players who share their expertise and skills with you to make you a better player, and you can find them on YouTube. You can also make your own scenarios, which is well worth the effort to learn. I've done several and had a ton of fun doing it. Most of the missions we play are player-created, and a lot of them are based on throw more enemies until you get overwhelmed and die scenario. I played more than my share of these, and not really a fan of that scenario. Don't get me wrong, I'm perfectly fine with losing, but I do want a chance to win, or at least escape to fight another day. You're approaching the final mission. The target looks clear, and bam, 50 enemy appear and shoot you down. Not so much fun. I'd really appreciate a real good stealth mission where you don't shoot anyone and win. One of the things I don't like is that you can't sneak up and use a knife. If it's possible, let me know. The other game I play regularly is War Thunder. Play this one a lot. I have never been good with aerial combat games, but this one has nailed the mechanics down to the point where I can take off, fly, and land without having prayers said over me afterwards. Great game. Short missions, usually 20 minutes or so in the realistic mode. There is an arcade mode and a simulator mode, which are opposite ends, and I can't fly the latter, and I don't want the endless chaos of the former. Some players complain endlessly about the planes, the color of the pilot's underwear, and so on. For an online game with thousands of other players, I have never experienced such a great group to play with, bar none. They are nice, considerate, and yes, some of them even might be human. It's a good game, try it. Don't get me wrong, there are typical nut jobs that say, my team is all noobs and I'm a big fail, or my personal favorite was, I lost all my passion when I saw the rest of the team were all bombers. What? You're going to get these people all the time. Let it go and enjoy those who are being there or who are there to have fun. The next game, which is new to me, is Battle Academy 2 Eastern Front. It's a multiplayer, single-player game based on the Soviet and German armies in World War II. I've only played the skirmish mode and had a lot of fun doing it. The individual skirmishes are highly customizable, and you won't be repeating the same scenario each time. The placement of troops is a little odd, but you'll get the hang of that quickly. The great quick game with lots of variability, and not every encounter will be one you like. Now another game is Dwarf Fortress 2. Takes some prep time to learn. I recommend you spend some time on the YouTube tutorials and gameplay to get a good feel for it. It's sort of a survival tactical game where you build caves, inhabit them, grow your own food, and pretty much everything else, including taking out the garbage. There is a lot of magic involved, lots of odd creatures, and a pretty good storyline. I'm only new to the game, so I'm still figuring out things. It took me 3 games before I was able to moderately support myself in the game, so you need patience with this one. And you'll be rewarded with a freeloading king who does nothing but complain about you and your worthless settlement. Worth seeing to believe. The graphics aren't high-end, but pretty soon you won't notice them. It's the content that grips you and takes you away. One of the oddest and most fun games was Dominion 4. It's an interesting game involving demigods fighting over the known world with magic and swords. You raise armies, gather resources, establish forts, increase research skills, and invade to establish full dominion. Watch the tutorials and gameplays for this one. The graphics are not the highlight of the game, but the gameplay and storyline is. The variability is immense, and I can pretty much guarantee that you'll never repeat a game. You're going to need to watch the tutorials for this one, though. The end-game tutorial was very helpful for me, and I plunged into a real game right after and had a heck of a time losing the game. It was fun. The only other downer to this game is the screeching of the creatures. My goodness, you'd think you'd walked into a chicken farm with a hatchet. Another war game that I really enjoyed is Men of War Assault Squad 2. This is a single-player, multiplayer game for World War II and is based on short-line tactical situations that are more squad-based than anything, hence the name. You control the troops in both the offensive and defensive scenarios, and sometimes both. It's a real-time game, and you better be quick and know the game mechanics because there won't be enough time if you have a bunch of panzers coming down the road towards your position. I like the ability to position your troops in a fairly dynamic way, meaning that the soldiers take positions relative to the landform that you'd like them to move into. You don't have to worry about them standing up when they're next to a boulder. In this game, they'll crouch behind it. The level of detail is high, and the feel of gameplay is pretty intense. There's a lot of micromanagement that comes from experience, so take your time getting to know this game. Once you get used to the pacing, you'll have a rewarding experience taking enemy positions and finalizing their termination. The last game I'm going to talk about is the one I enjoyed the most, and that is Distant Worlds Universe. It's a strategic game with lots of mods. The gameplay is complex and rich in detail and very immersive. It's real-time, and for those who like to micromanage, this game is for you. For those of you who don't like to micromanage, this game is for you. You can pick the level of management you want and be a happy camper. In my opinion, the graphics are fine, but some of the mods trick them out pretty nicely. If you're like me, you'll give yourself a break and play several times before you make up your mind about this game. There's a lot of detail, but it can be learned relatively easy after familiarization. Patience will be rewarded. What you get is an immensely playable game with lots of room to experiment and learn from. Okay, that will do it for the wrap-up for August 2014. Let me know how you liked it and what games you're interested in and why. Let me know how you feel about these games, and if you haven't tried them, give them a shot. If you have any suggestions for games for me to try, just leave a note in the comments. Thanks for taking a look at this segment, and remember, have fun.